Hey guys, good morning everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, June 30th. It is 6:16 right now. Market's gonna open in about 14 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Looks good there. All right, so let me get this link set out to you guys here in the premium. All right, I'll give a few moments for people to make their way. Good morning, everybody. Looks like people are still joining. Morning, Maria. Morning, Kaner. Morning, everybody. All right, so as people join in, I'm going to start off by marking up liquidity here because this is typically what takes us the longest to mark up. I'm going to start over here on the daily time frame. Try to mark up as many as I can. Hey, Hussein, how's it going? Yeah, no, definitely. Hussein said it's crazy Friday today. Yeah, there's news this morning, so I don't know if you guys tried the trade this morning, but I mean, the entry that I did look at did hit. I didn't take the entries, but they did hit. It's kind of iffy because of the news, but yeah, definitely an interesting Friday. We'll see how this ends up playing out as we wait for market open here. So fix those. I mean, it's not a big deal. Mark these 8 hour. Looks like we finally have sentiment, guys. I'll go over and take a look at the overall bias before market open. But it looks like we do have, we have a retail sentiment now, so we might be looking for buys today. I mean, it doesn't necessarily be the case for the entire day, but at least we have like some sort of direction to look for. So I talked to the main guys today. I think for today, I will mark up liquidity and I'll show you guys where it's at. I'm going to be focusing on taking that scalping entry that I talked about yesterday. So guys, if you guys weren't here on yesterday's live session, I started applying this scalping strategy that I used to apply when I first started scalping. I made a lot of profit on it, but I also lost a lot because I didn't really know what I was doing. I just saw a pattern and then it looked really good, and I just kept taking it. But the problem was that I wasn't sure like how to identify direction with regard to momentum and trend, because I didn't have my indicators back then. Back then I was just trading with no indicators. Now that I have my indicators, I actually am able to identify direction and when to enter and when not to enter. So properly. So with that said, I think my main focus for today, me personally, is going to be following the scalping strategy that I discussed yesterday. If you guys are not familiar with what I'm talking about, don't worry. It's not something that you need to be concerned with. It's just a strategy that I will be telling you guys when I'll be taking it. It's going to be going for a 100 pip TP, 250 pip stop loss, but there's going to be an opportunity to cut the losses early. So that's the big part about that strategy, is that you're able to cut your losses early, and the losses are typically going to be around 100 pips or less. So like if you have that opportunity to cut early, you can just cut out for a small loss, and then typically you'll win the next trade and you'll be back in profit right away, versus doing a 1 to 3 risk reward where you lose one trade and then it takes 3 trades to win back, which is, it still works, but I think this is a little more efficient, especially if you decide to scalp throughout the session. It also keeps us very engaged with the market, because you have to be watching, you have to be understanding price action, you have to understand a lot of things in the market to apply it properly. So with that said, guys, I'll mark up liquidity here. I don't know if I'll be looking to take liquidity specifically, because I'll be looking to take the other scalps, but there's one level of liquidity up here. This is going to be it's going to be the 2-hour liquidity right there. The price is currently at market's gonna open in about 6 minutes, guys. Morning if you guys are just joining, and we'll see where this ends up going. All right, so we have liquidity sitting up top right here. It's about 600 pips away. It's not super far. And then we have liquidity down below, which is about 1,220 pips. So we got liquidity on both sides. The volatility right here is it's not consistent. Sometimes volatility will be fast, sometimes it'll be very slow. So it's kind of hard to tell what we'll be looking for specifically. The 1-hour trade that came up over here at 6 o'clock hit full TP. I marked it up right there. I don't think anybody caught it. I was going to take it, but it's a love-hate relationship with like trading on Friday. Friday is like one of the riskier days to trade. If you guys are not familiar with that, Fridays and Mondays are typically like some of the more riskier days, because people are exiting the market for the weekend. We also have it's going to be a holiday weekend well, not a holiday weekend, but next week's a big holiday, 4th of July. Independence Day here in the US. So markets are closed on Tuesday. They open on Monday for one day. So that's going to be risky, because people are going to be gambling on Monday, right? People are going to get in real quick, get out, and then call it a day, because the market will be closed on Tuesday. So we will be trading on Monday, but we won't be trading on Tuesday. All right, before market opens, it's 6:25 right now. We got about 5 minutes. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to mark up this is a new chart, so annoying. They took off the auto button here on the bottom. I don't know why they did that, because the auto button was really key. So there's no way to go back to it that I know of. I'm hoping they fix this at some point in the future, but This is how all pretty much the trading view charts look now if you update them. So I updated this one here, and unfortunately, this is what my chart looks like now. I don't have the auto button on the bottom, so I have to kind of just go back and then make some adjustments myself. Anyways, it's not gonna be really that big of a deal for us here. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, Maddie said he just searches it up in the top right corner. So what you can do, Maddie, the quickest way is to click on this right here, click on auto, and then you can move it around. That's the fastest way. But it was better when there's just an auto button down there, because you just click auto and you can make adjustments to the chart. So there's a button right here. You just click that and then you can adjust it from auto to dragging. All right, so market's going to open in about 3 minutes, guys. Let me take a look at today's overall bias, retail sentiment, fundamental bias. Short-term technicals, long-term technicals. And we'll see what direction we'll be trading in. All right, so for retail sentiment, let's take a look at sentiment right now. Sentiment's currently 65% short. This is really good. This indicates that 65% of retail traders are currently selling right now. You can see price has been pretty bullish, so everybody's getting stopped out on the top side. So yeah, with that said, we currently have a bullish bias. 65% short, because we typically want to do the opposite of retail traders. So if there's a lot of retail traders selling, we typically want to do the opposite and buy. Pretty sure fundamentals are bullish, very bullish right now. They're up 200 points. So we have a super strong bullish bias right now. I mean, this could change on open, so just keep that in mind, guys. Market can shift at any moment, so don't be too stuck on taking just one type of position. But obviously, we're gonna be looking for some possible buys here. You can see over here on the shorter time frames and longer time frames, everything's bullish. Price is above the pivots, trend meter is green across every chart, and the pivots are angling up. So with that said, we have an extremely strong bullish bias. This is not exactly what I want. I don't want it to be very extremely bullish. I want it to be kind of mixed, but still one-sided. Right now, it's just all one-sided. Everything's bullish, 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 bullish. So the only thing that I probably want to take today are probably buys. I'm probably not going to be looking to take any sells today, for obvious reasons right here. You guys can see everything's very bullish. Let's see, market is going to open shortly, guys, in about 30 seconds. I think there was news today. There was news at 5:30. There's news at 6:45, 7, and 7:30. So keep that in mind. 6:45, 7, 7:30. News down below. It's not really going to matter too much because it's so far down below. But it's right there. I can already predict where it's going to be at because it's so obvious. All right, market is opening about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open, guys. Here goes opening bell. See where price ends up going. As you guys can see, there's liquidity on both sides. Just be careful with which one you decide to hop into. I preferably would take the buy, but I don't want to take it if it just shoots right up. I want there to be some sort of consolidation, like maybe a push to the upside slightly. Well, I actually want price to come down. So I want price to come down so we can catch the correction back to the upside. So I actually want price to come down first, come up, consolidate a bit, push up, consolidate a little bit, push up, and break through. That's kind of what I want. I want a messy push to the upside, but I'm expecting buy today. I'm not really looking to take any sells today, guys. The bias right now is just too strong for a buy. So I want price to get manipulated to the downside, and then we'll catch it as it swings right back up. And taking any sells right now would be extremely risky. Here is the clean chart. There goes price pushes right back up. So I'd be careful I'd be careful with taking trades in either direction. I wouldn't just chase the buy to the upside. I mean, if you have an entry, take it to the upside, but I wouldn't just take a trade just because it's not going to be that easy. Pretty sure you guys know that by now. Yeah, so there's nothing here yet. Price came back up, retested the opening price, and came crashing right back down. Bias is still overall very bullish, so we'll see as price swings, back to the upside. I mean, price was due to drop. You can see the overextension. Price is pushed up super heavily. If you measure it from down here, price pretty much pushed up, or all the way from the very bottom. Price is pushed up about 1,300 pips. So it's pushed up quite a bit, a little too much right now. So it's pulling back as you can see. Not really too much, but it is pushing back and forth quite a bit. Yeah, Maddie said 65% short, stacking some sellers. There we go. Price comes right back to open. I don't know if anybody caught the sell here, or there's actually no sell there. Sorry, take that back. All right, price is pushing back up. I'm looking for a buy signal. If you guys remember the scalping strategy that I was referring to you guys before, keep a black line over here to follow the price points. And I'll try to tell you guys and give you guys as big of a heads up as possible when I'm looking to take the scalp. What do we call it? The momentum pullback scalp. So we need a buy signal here first. Once we get a buy signal, we can start looking for the momentum pullback scalp. Price is pushing up right here to the area of liquidity above. It's a 2-hour liquidity. So if price gets to that point, I'll probably take it maybe for a small push, nothing too crazy. But it's probably going to align with the other entry that we've been discussing not too long ago. So price is pushing up right there. This is a bit of a risky trade right here, guys, because as I mentioned, I want price to kind of push up, consolidate a bit, and then push through. So I don't want it to hit right away. I want price to push up a little bit, maybe fake out. So push up a little bit, consolidate around here, maybe fake out a little bit right there, come back down, come back up, consolidate, push back up, consolidate, and then either come up or even come back down for another fake out. I'm looking for at least one fake out or a consolidation phase before price comes and hits liquidity up there. Because as I mentioned, it's going to be overextended if price gets to that point. If price pushes from straight down here up to this point, that's like 1,000 pips. So that's usually a sign to be careful because of the possibility of manipulation. So if price ends up closing around this area for entry would probably be down here at 80. If you guys are following that. I know, Gian, we typically wait until like 6:45, so I probably won't even enter here just yet. I would probably wait a little further. Gian, Maddie, CT, KC, Sisu. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to smoothen out a bit. So I'm probably not gonna take this one. I'll follow it. I'll see how it plays out, but probably not gonna take this specific one just yet. Maybe entry would have been right there. Yeah, it's just moving a little too crazy right now. It's too volatile, so I wouldn't have taken it. Or the entry actually would have came from down here, no? Yeah, entry would have came down from 60 because it would have been too late. Candle would have opened right there. Entry would have been down at the bottom. It's just too volatile right now. So for the scalping strategy, the momentum pullback scalp, guys, that we've been talking about, you typically don't want to take when the market is just kind of bouncing back and forth, too volatile. You want to take it once the market is kind of stabilized a bit, because you can see that price it's being highly manipulated right here on open. So typically from our testing, we've tested it between 7 and 8. It usually yields about like 4 or 5 entries. And then CT tested it yesterday, and I looked at it yesterday too. Pretty much from 7 until 12, there was about 21 wins and about, I think, 2 losses. And the losses were under 100 pips. So, maybe a 200 pip loss and then 2,100 pip win. So it balanced out to about 1,800 pip profit, if not more. But yeah, we're going to wait a little bit. You can see there's like no direction. You can see it better here on the clean chart. So on the clean chart right here, you guys can see it's just a back and forth movement. It's in a big range. Kodi didn't get hit yet either. It's perfect. This is exactly what I mentioned, right? So I mentioned I want a price to come up, fake out like it just did right here. Come out a little bit, fake out, push down, push back up, and then consolidate. So price, push up, fake out, consolidate, push up, either fake out or consolidate. Like you can consolidate about up here too. Push up slightly, fake out again, consolidate, push up, consolidate, and break through. So I want a messy move like this. I want basically some consolidation, some fake outs, so that we don't get trapped in those fake outs. And then when the actual move plays out, that's where you want to look for liquidity. Because lately the market's been very tricky. The past 2 weeks, a lot of fake outs. Usually the first two touches would be about a couple fake outs, and then when it finally got there on that third touch, if not fourth, then it just blasted right through to full TP. So if you guys are familiar with the liquidity push, if you guys have been following me, we've been doing the liquidity push every day for the past couple of weeks. The patterns change every day and every week for sure. So it's better to be safe. So I'd rather not enter and miss the trade than enter and get caught in a bad trade, or get caught in retracement or pullback, or whatever you guys want to consider it. 638 right now. Market's starting to stabilize a bit, which is a good thing. We just want price to stabilize. You can see price is kind of jumping around a bit. You can see it better here on the clean chart. Price just jumps around. Each candle is like about 600 pips, up, down, up, down, up, down, etc. You want to wait for something to move a lot smoother. So with that said, as I mentioned, I'm still going to be looking for buys here. I just don't have anything to look at the moment. So I'm just going to wait and see where the entry may arise. All right. Sorry, I checked a couple of messages right there. All right, so there's nothing for us to take here at the moment, guys. Still, we're getting closer to 640. Price is starting to stabilize a bit. So as price starts to stabilize, we're looking for a buy signal. Looking for a buy signal, and then going to be looking for possible entry for the momentum pullback scalps. So we'll see what happens in a few. Price is starting to push back up now. Just waiting for it to stabilize. I mean, it looks like it's starting to stabilize, but it hasn't really confirmed it yet. I mean, it's fine. If you don't get something here right now, I'm gonna wait for the next one anyways. Price is getting closer to that area of liquidity right there. If price doesn't get to that point, again, I might just go for 100 pips. I don't think I'll go for the full 300, because you can see the volatility here is starting to die down. If the volatility stayed above 300 pips and price would like spike through and continue pushing through, then great. I would take the trade. The only problem with this type of market is that we're in summer conditions. So summer is really tricky. You get like initial volatility, and then it'll just be dead for like the entire session. And that's what you don't want to be caught in, because if it's dead for the entire session, that's a lot of uncertainty for your position, right? When we're scalping, you want to be in and out of these positions quickly. You don't want to be holding on to it for too long, because if you're holding on to it for an extended period, price can easily reverse on you if price decides to spike. So the main goal for scalping, guys, is get in, get out, take your profit and run. Wait for the next opportunity, do the same thing. Get in, get out, take your profit and run. This isn't intraday or swing trading where you want to hold on to it for too long, because the market's very unpredictable during the summer. We have news coming up right here at 6:45, so we might want to be a little careful as we get closer to that point. But yeah, right here at the moment, there's just nothing for us to take right now specifically. Another entry right here, it looks like, or not yet, but I was getting close to it. We have news right here at 6:45. 6:45 Chicago PMI right here. We'll see what happens shortly. Let's see. All right, so it's starting to look like it is stabilizing a bit. I'm just going to follow this entry right here, Gian. So the entry would be here at 70. I'm going to follow. I'm not going to take it, but I'm going to follow it. I want to see how it plays out. So entry would have been right there. It looks like it actually would have hit CP already. Yeah, like immediately. It literally came down to the 70, straight up hit CP. So it looks like the market's starting to stabilize a bit. It looks like we may be able to look for some entries now. This momentum signal has already been used. Nice, Sisuk actually caught the entry right there. So nice work, Sisuk. If you guys caught that entry right there, if you guys are familiar with the strategy, it hit right there. I wanted to take it, but it's okay. I'm not going to risk it right now because we're right next to news. But it looks like the market is now stabilizing a bit. So now that it's stabilizing, it's perfect. We can start looking for entries. This momentum signal has already been used though. So I need a retracement. I need price to retrace down and then provide another buy signal. And then from there, I'll start looking for another opportunity for entry. So nice. Rashida caught it. Sisu caught it. CJ caught it. Maddie caught it. Yeah, I mean, all you guys caught it. Didn't tell me. It's all good, Maddie. But it's cool. So I'm glad that you guys caught the profit there. I'm ready to look for the next entry. So I'll be looking for the next. Yeah, Casey caught it too. A lot of you guys caught it. So yeah, you guys already catch on to the strategy. The strategy is very, 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 very lucrative. And it's crazy. Okay, let's wait for that next one. So I'll be looking for the next entry here, and then we will see what happens next. All right, so I need to get a sell signal. So basically what I'm looking for here now is I'm looking for a sell signal to reset momentum. I need momentum to pull back, and then I need momentum to push back up. And then when it pushes back up, I'm going to be ready to look for that next entry. So nice work, guys. Let me just check the. Sorry, guys, getting a bunch of messages here. All right, so yeah, looking over here. So I'll just take a look at people's profits so far. So Sisu over here took the trade, total profit of 1,800 for the day. Nice work, Sisu. Great wins right there. Here is Sisu's second account, total profit of 1,800 as well. All wins right there. And we have Sisu's third account here, total profit of 2,150. And I don't know how Sisu does it, but Sisu takes these trades on 3 separate accounts. He doesn't even use a copier. And then we have Natasha over here, total profit of 375 for the day. She took the 1 hour trade at 6 o'clock. Nice work, Natasha. Yeah, the trade went straight to CP. So nice work right there, guys. Great profit so far. We have the retracement signal right here. This is perfect, exactly what we were looking for. It is also the news candle right there. And we are now looking for price to swing back up. We need that sell signal right there to close. I want that to close, and I want price to push back up. Once we get that sell signal, the market is starting to move kind of crazy now. As you guys can see, You can't see it here as clearly, but if you go over here to the clean chart, it's a lot more obvious, right? Market kind of slowed down a bit, stabilized, and then the volatility just picked up right again. So just be careful, guys. If you guys are looking to take these entries here, I mean, today's Friday, like I mentioned in the beginning of the session, Friday is one of the riskier days to trade. So just be careful when you're looking for entries here because you can get caught. And this is what I was mentioning earlier. This is why we scalp to get in and out with profit, because if you hold on to it for too long, all of a sudden price might just spike against you. Like it's so unpredictable during the summer, but this is normal. It's unpredictable movement, but it's predictable conditions because this is just how summer works, guys. Summer is typically kind of weird. It's not very stable. It's just back and forth movements on and on and on. If price shifts below, we can technically start looking for entries for a sell regarding the momentum pullback strategy. But again, the bias today is so strong that I don't even think I'll bother looking for a sell today. The bias is just way too strong. I'd rather wait for price to swing back up and then provide me an opportunity to look for a buy versus taking the opposite direction. Because technically, if the direction starts to look like a sell, like if price stays below the pivots, trend meter turns red, and the pivots are angling down very heavily, in that case, then we can possibly start looking for a sell. But for me personally, from personal experience, it's too risky and it's not worth the risk. So I just want a sell signal here to close. I want price to push back up, provide a green, trend meter and price to be above the pivots. At that point, then I'm going to start looking for some more buys back to the upside. That's perfect. We got that sell signal right there. I'm looking for price to push back up. Next thing that I want to see here is I want to see a buy signal come up to provide me opportunity to start looking for some buys. But right now we don't have that buy signal. A couple of things that we're looking for here. We need a buy signal. For two, we need a green trend meter, and we need price to be above the pivots. So right now price is below. A couple of things to look for there. Price above the pivots, green trend meter, green buy signal, and then look for retracement, and then look for entry. I think that buy signal will come up soon. The trend meter is turning green now, so it's starting to look nice. Not perfect, but it is looking better. I'm gonna use a black line here to identify the line or the price line. And then we will see what to look for next. So let's check this real quick. All right, we got that buy signal coming up there now. Everything's lining up. So we need that buy signal there to close. Once it closes, I'm going to be looking for that retracement. We need that buy signal there to close first. That's going to be main thing. Main thing is a buy signal. And this chart's kind of messy. I need to right, I don't know. I think it's fine. It looks messy, but for me, I can see past all the mess. So we need these lines here because these lines are important for us to look at. If anything, I can start applying this on the clean chart, maybe. We'll just use the clean chart to follow the entry. But I think for now, we're fine. Hey, Kenny, how's it going? Morning. Yeah, Maddie said he thinks it'll slowly make its way up to liquidity. I think that too, because it's making its way back up. It's a mess just like how we wanted. Price is just consolidating in this big range. Eventually, I think price will come up, hit liquidity up here, and then just blast right through. Eventually, when it gets to that point. Yeah, it's probably gonna make a slow climb to the upside. We need that buy signal though. So I'm looking for that buy signal. That's going to be the main thing I'm looking for. Right here, we got about 20 seconds left on this candle. Got price pushing up. All right, we still don't have that buy signal closing. We got it closing right there now. We're almost. Just another attempt to the upside. All right, so if you guys are not familiar with the strategy that I'm discussing, basically I'm looking for a direction of price with regard to momentum and trend. I'm looking for a retracement pullback, and I'm entering at a whole number. It's either at a 0, 0, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, basically whole numbers and tenths. And I'm looking to catch it back up further. TP stop loss is 100, 250. And then we have an opportunity to cut losses if we get an opposite signal in the other direction. So still don't have that buy signal yet, which is fine, not a big deal. Another buy signal here pending. Price is starting to make its way back up to liquidity up here. Clean chart right here, price back above open. But our main focus right now is going to be that buy signal. That buy signal is going to be the key catalyst to start looking for buys because we're trading the direction of momentum and the direction of trend. We already have the trend direction right here. You can see prices above the pivots, trend meters green, pivots are angling up. We now need that buy signal to confirm momentum. Once we get that, we can start looking for entries to the upside. Overall bias is bullish too, so another plus there. All right, so this is fine. If we get an invalid signal like this is fine, but we need price to actually push up. So this right here is not going to be opportunity for us. We need price to actually push up, and then we need to wait for that retracement. This right here is an immediate retracement. This is not going to work. We need price to actually push up, retrace, and then push up higher. And that's where our entry is going to take place. So this is fine. This is okay. This works for us here, but we need price to actually push past this candle. So I need price to go back above. It can loop up. It can loop from down here, push up, and then look for a retracement from that point. So the signal is fine. It's okay if it's invalid, but we do need that direction. So we still don't have the direction. We have momentum, but no actual direction here that's been confirmed. It's right at opening price. Price can easily just bounce off this area, come right back up, retrace back down, and then we'll look for entry at that point. All right, so we got that sell signal there. If the sell signal closes, no entry. Okay, so that's fine. Now we're just going to wait for another buy signal to reset the process, wait for the signal to push up. I think we're going to start to get a bullish push once we get closer to 7 o'clock. Let's see the 1 hour entry over here. 1 hour entry is not confirmed because you need a buy signal, but usually at the top of the hour, that's where you get some volatility. That's why we have this 1 hour strategy here as well. So I have the 1 hour strategy marked up here. There's no buy signal, so we can't take a buy yet. On top of that, we're just waiting for confirmation. And then we have more news over here at 7. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up. So yeah, if we don't get the entry anytime soon, then I'm going to wait for news to pass. And this is fine because this lines up with our initial plan anyways. We wanted to trade this strategy from 7 to 8. Technically, you can trade it from 7 to 12, but 7 to 8 is ideal time to take this trade. That's when market is starting to move a lot smoother, and it's not all choppy like this. Like you can see here in the clean chart, it's straight choppiness. Nothing's going on here. Up and down movement. Like there's literally nothing here to take or look at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said stay patient for entries and let the market fake retail out. No entries no entries over forcing and taking a loss. Exactly, 100%. All right, so price is pushing up right here. This is looking good. We may be able to take that entry, the scalp entry, if it does provide entry pretty soon, because this entry happens pretty quickly. So it could probably happen and hit before it even gets to a news price. So price is pushing up right here. If we get this buy signal that closes, we're going to be looking for the retracement. And then from there, we're going to look to catch the bounce off the retracement. So we got about 10 seconds left on this candle. Just waiting for this candle here to close. The good thing about this strategy is that it's not based off the momentum, so you don't have to wait for this candle. So like you're not entering off this candle, you're waiting for a better confirmation here. Okay, so if I get a red candle that comes up, that's going to be the retracement. So let's see, retracement is right here at like 84. Entry be around here at 80. If it drops lower than that, it'd be about 70. So if this candle closes right at 80, I'm going to enter right away. Looking at the numbers right here on the right side, this red number right here is going to be where the candle is currently at. So I'm following that. If it closes at 80, I'm going to take it for a buy immediately, and I'm going to write it up for 100 pips. But if it closes anywhere above 82 or above, or anything around there, then I'm obviously not going to take it. It could be like one number or exactly on the specific dot. So 81, 80, 79. Then I would take it immediately. Let's see. Just trying to get into it. Let me see if I could. It's like right at the dot. Watching it right here. Let's see if I got this set up right. So there's so many numbers here, I can't even see where it's lined up at. 80. So price is pulling back here. You can probably get a better entry if it pulls back further at the 70 down here, but it's right at the 80. It's getting really close to news price at 7 o'clock. See where it's going. This is like the tricky part about entering at like if the candle closes right at the whole number, because you have two different opportunities. You can wait for it to pull back to the lower price down here, or you can wait, you can just enter right away. Volatility is kind of dying down a little bit. Other entry point could have been taken right there, or not yet, but let's see. Yeah, we're getting kind of close. I'm gonna have to close early because we're getting close to news price. 7 o'clock. Let's see. Pricing gets liquidity yet. So there's the other opportunity right there. That point, 70. See where it goes from here. If the sell signal closes, then I'm going to close out for an early loss. That's how you can cut losses. If you get an opposite signal and it closes, that's where you can cut losses. This was just a bit of a tricky entry because it was right at news price right here at 7. See if I'll need a cut here. You got about 20 seconds. If the sell signal closes, I'm cutting for a loss. About 15 seconds. It's right at the news candle too. Oh, it's helped me out. It's okay. Ate the loss right there. It happens. So I ate the loss right there. I probably should have held off on this because the news candle was coming up right here at 7 o'clock, because this is just, it wasn't a good area to take the trade. But I took a loss right there for this scalp entry. Completely fine. I'm gonna wait for the next one. So there's a news candle right here. I'm gonna mark up news price right over here. I was hoping I'd be able to pull out early for minimal loss, but it's okay. It's spiked me out because price just spiked down right there once we got closer to news. All right, I'm gonna wait for another opportunity for price to push back up. Let's see, lost a little bit on that one. I'm gonna have to tighten my stop loss a little bit. What's this? Slightly. All right, so I'm looking for another buy signal to come up over here, guys. And then I'm going to be looking for another opportunity to cover that loss. So I'm looking for another buy signal to come up, do the same thing, but probably not around news price. We were like way too close to news. I entered right here at like 657. And I just want to be transparent with you guys. This strategy is not 100%. There's no 100% strategy. You're going to have losses. but I'd rather eat a 200 to 250 pip loss versus a full 300, if not more, applying something like, say, the 1 hour. But yeah, there's no 1 hour entry because the sell signal right here came up. So there's no 1 hour entry. Liquidity still didn't get hit. It's still doing this messy move over here. And here's a clean chart. You guys can see price is still going back and forth within this area. So I'm going to look for another entry here to cover that loss as it continues to go back and forth. And then we're just going to keep bouncing back because we just need one win, or like basically 1.5 win to basically 1 to 3 wins, somewhere around there. 1 to 3 wins, and then you'll cover it. Not 3 wins because it's not 300 pips. It was 250. The spike down below actually gave me some slippage, so it cut me at like maybe, let me see, it cut me out at about 200 pips of a loss. So small loss right there, and I'm going to bounce back on this next entry. There's just no direction. So the direction here is super messy. As you guys can see, the trend meter is now back to blue. Typically, you want price to be going very directional, either straight up or either straight down. Right now, you can see that price isn't really doing too much. This isn't the ideal market to be scalping like this because we do have a bias here, but price just keeps going back and forth. We typically want price to at least move slightly above. It doesn't have to move a lot, but slightly above, or in the opposite, slightly below. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for another opportunity over here. Looking for another buy signal. So let's see. I need to wait for this to push out of this area because you can see price is pretty much just going sideways right here. It's not a clean market. You want something like this. So this type of market right here, great. Because you can see when price pushed up, it retraced right here. And if you would have taken the buy right there, full TP, right? It's an easy move. But this right here is just too messy. And I just got some FOMO right there. So that was my bad too. I got FOMO because I was waiting for, I knew there was news coming up at 7, and I still decided to hop into it. It was mainly because I missed the first trade that came up over here. We had the first one that came up here that you guys profited on. And unfortunately, I just got FOMO on this one. So on to the next one. Looking for a buy signal over here. Once we get that buy signal, we can possibly look for the same type of entry. Look for buy signal, retracement to a whole number, and then quick entry to the upside. Nice Martha here, actually, she took it and she closed out early. I was kind of thinking about closing out early too, Martha, because earlier when price was in profit, yeah, she locked in 810. I was actually in profit almost 1,000 when price pushed up. So like I got in right here at, what was it, 80? Yeah, 80. Price pushed up right here. It was in profit like about 400 pips. So I was in profit like almost 1,000 pips, or 1,000 profit because I took a 200. And I should have closed it because I knew news was coming up. But I ended up holding on to it, which is fine. You know, that's the only way to trust the strategy and understand that it works, is if you trust it and you hold it even when the circumstances don't fall in your favor. So let's see where this ends up going. Let's see. Andrew said, you think price is going to test the high one more time, then blast through? Yeah, possibly. I mean, so the thing with this right here, Andrew, if you look at where price is currently at, it's squeezing. So price is squeezing right here down the middle, right? When it squeezes like this, it's preparing for a breakout. It's going to break out to the upside, or it's going to break out to the downside, right? So yeah, I mean, it could break, it could blast in either direction, but I can't say for sure where. All right, we have another opportunity right here. I'm going to try to recoup the loss on that last move. So let's see where we're at. No buy signal yet, but it is coming up. Next news event's here at 7:30. So at least we have some space in between, but I'm hoping we get some direction here. There's just not much direction. Here we go with the buy signal again. All right, perfect. We have the buy signal right here. I'll be looking for another opportunity here for that scalp. I've timed up my stop loss though. My stop loss is really tight on this next one because I just want to make sure that I'm solid. If anything, you know, as we continue to test this, we might be able to even tighten the stop loss a little more, maybe even down to 200, because 250 is not far, but it's not close either. But it's still enough where it can kind of like set you back if you end up getting caught in something. Okay, so prices are retracing right here. Yeah, the next level is going to be 60 down here. Okay, not yet. So if we get a retracement candle right here, a red candle, the level right here that we'd be looking for would be level 60. I only know that because the low of this candle right here is 69, so 70 cannot be the level. It's got to be a bit higher. I mean, a bit lower. So I'm just looking for a red candle right here. If I can get a red candle, it's going to confirm the retracement. Once we get that, I can look at the whole number for entry. All right, we got this red candle right here. The red number right here is going to be price. Price is currently at 77. Entry would have to be around 70. But we need to confirm the retracement though. Retracement has to be confirmed first. We got 20 seconds left on this candle right here. It's currently at 76. All right, so we're just waiting for that to confirm down below. 5. We've got okay, there's no retracement on this candle. Starting over back up here. Price is now pushing through. So you can see the entry that we looked at earlier. We just got caught in this like BS move over here because of news. So we entered right here earlier at 70, right? Actually, yeah, our TP would have gotten hit by now, or 80. We actually entered at 80. So if I would have skipped this one earlier, we would have been fine. Again, guys, that was my bad. I entered a little too early. It was based on there's news right there. So this news pushed price down, but then it corrected back up. So if we entered at this point here, maybe if I had a wider stop loss, I would have been able to save the trade. But it's okay. You know, you got to learn how to cut losses, especially during market conditions like this. So we don't have that retracement yet. I'm still looking for the retracement candle. We're currently at 80 now. This price is a little farther up. So if this candle closes red, then I'm going to look for price to come down to the 80 for my entry over here. All right, price is pushing up where it's supposed to be. We just got caught in that news cycle over there, guys. So unfortunately, that's where we got fucking burned. It's all good. I'm looking for this retracement here still. All right, it looks like price is getting to that liquidity up there. It's trying to. It's not there yet. All right, price came past this area. 90. 600. All right, price is pushing through right there. It's getting close to that level of liquidity. Still looking for the retracement here. So I don't have the retracement yet. See where we're at. I think liquidity might have gotten hit. I'll take a look at that a little later, guys, but I'm still looking for this retracement. So I don't want to take my eyes off this chart. So I know as soon as I take it off, it's going to come back down for a retracement and I'm going to miss the entry. Yeah, it looks like it's blasting through liquidity right now. Yeah, it's going through it. So if you guys are in that liquidity move, it's in profit already. I'd probably move your stop loss in profit. If you're cool with 100 pips, pull out for 100. But it is hitting liquidity right now. Nice. Maria caught liquidity. Vince caught liquidity. Solid. Still watching it here. Nice. You caught a 2-caner. Awesome. All right, so there's a couple different opportunities here. Well, not really opportunities. You have to look for the retracement. Retracement hasn't confirmed yet. I've put 2 lines here to look at the 20 and also look at the 10. So price closes at the 20. So if it closes right at the 20, there's opportunity for entry right there. If not, you got to wait for price to pull down here, and this is where the entry be at the 10. So price closes like below it, you have to wait for this area. Price closes right at there with the red line, with the red candle, then you can enter immediately at that price point. But again, you got to be really patient with these entries here because the entries are very tricky if you're not watching it properly. Let's see. Yeah, so the entry would have been, yeah. You have to wait for that retracement. So there's still no retracement. This candle just immediately closed green. I'm looking for the retracement right here. Here's the actual retracement. There goes a pullback right there, pullback part. See where this candle's at. So you have to wait for that red candle. That red candle is going to be your catalyst for entry point. If the catalyst is right here again at the 20 mark, then you can make entry right there. But if not, then we're just have to wait for because these candles are just they're moving too violently. They're just spiking around a bit. So I thought that this candle was going to close red. It didn't. Ended up closing green at the very last second. And then here we are again back at the 20 mark. All right, so price is there. You'd have to wait for price to actually come down here for entry. You can see this candle right here closed at 17. It's too far. It was too far. So if this ends up being the case, then we just got to wait for it to. We got to wait for this to either come back down here for entry, or if it pushes up, we got to wait for another retracement. So I mean, either way works. But there's no entry here yet. I mean, I wouldn't mind if price pushes up further and then pulls apart. Wrong tool. If price pushes up further, then retraces and then gives us another opportunity here to take the buy. Let's see, I can find something over here real quick. So I gotta get this text message real quick. All right, price is pushing through right there. So price pushes through, this is fine. And then we're just gonna look for the retracement back to the for the next opportunity. So yeah, I actually want this to happen. I want price to push up further and then just wait for the next retracement. So I mean, price is just ranging right now. If price starts to range like this, we're just gonna have to wait for some sort of push because we need to have some sort of direction. You can't just have price going back and forth like this over and over again. If the market starts to, if it just continues to move like this, then I'm probably going to sit out most of today because Friday, you know, as I mentioned, Friday is a risky day to trade. So I'm kind of not surprised that this is happening. And I don't want to risk it. I already took a loss for today. I'm fine with eating one loss and just not trading. Because if this continues to happen, we can't take any scalps here because this is just going to keep, it's going to be the same issue. So again, right here, guys, price is now ranging. We have to wait for it to push out because we need some sort of direction. So right here, price is going sideways. We need price to push out to the upside. We have a bullish buy, so I need price to push to the upside, retrace, and then continue, right? The retracement right here is going to be where our scalp comes into play. But this has kind of been the recurring theme for like a lot of today. It's been in a big range. So pretty much big range, pushes up, consolidates again. I wouldn't be surprised if this just becomes a big range again here. and then it just keeps doing like, same thing. But yeah, I have one loss for today. I'm gonna count the loss, guys, so don't worry. The loss is counting. But it was about time for me to have a loss. I haven't had a loss in a long time. So it was just a matter of time until I ate that loss. We've had a pretty good win streak for the past couple weeks. I kind of wish I took the previous trade. So like if I had this one over here, I would have like softened that loss that happened right there. But I'll send a screenshot of my loss for the day so that you guys can see. I think the liquidity here did hit though. Or if you went for 100 pips, the liquidity here did get hit. It looks like price kind of faked out a bit. But if you guys take the 100 pip push, like I mentioned earlier, I mentioned like a 300 pip is a little too much. So if you guys went for the 100, it already hit. Technically, the trade's still running. So if you took the 100, it already went straight to TP. And then the full trade is actually still running right here. So I'm not sure if anybody's still in it, but if you listen to my recording from earlier, I mentioned, when price was in profit, I was like, if you guys are cool with 100 pips, pull up for 100 pips or move your stop loss in profit. Because I had a feeling something like this was going to happen, these fake outs. This was the first touch. And, lately for the past couple of weeks, there's been a fake out on the first touch. And then the second touch is either the breakthrough or it's either another fake out. I mean, these fake outs just keep playing through. So what I'll do over here is I will, or we'll just follow it. I'll just follow it. I'm not gonna give an update on this yet because it's still running. And then we'll see where this ends up going. I mean, price will probably come back up. I just don't like how it's moving right here. So for these scalps, I'm probably gonna hold off on this for now. I'm gonna take my loss. I'm just gonna be quickly humbled by the stupid market and eat that loss and just, wait for the next opportunity to come up here. But here's my my loss for that trade. I want to show you guys that, losses do happen and you just have to roll with it. You can't let the losses eat you up, because if the losses eat you up, then you're never gonna get out of it. You're just gonna keep stuck in that limbo. So here is my loss. Not a lot. It's 4,800. It's not really much because I'm already up this week a lot. So the thing with me is I'm trying to conserve my profits for this week, because I know if I have another loss, it's going to set me back. So for this week so far, let's see. So on Monday, and I'm just going to calculate one account. I'm not going to calculate all the accounts because it's just going to add up to pretty much the same thing. So for Monday, I locked in 4,240. That's Monday. The day after that, I locked in. And I just want to show you guys, this is when you have to learn when to stop. Because if you keep going, you can easily just like blow all your profits from the week. So 4,240 on the first day, 6,920 on my second day, 28th. And then today. So for the week so far, I was up, just my main account. This is my main FCMO. I was up 11,160. For today, I took one loss. So subtract that by 4,800. I'm still up 6,360, right? If I take another loss here, I'm going to be down to like 2,000 profit. So this is why I'm kind of more cautious about the entry that I decided to take, because I don't want to take another entry. Like, yeah, I could win a trade and I'll go up to like maybe 8,000, but I'm not looking to take that risk. Today's Friday and we're going into a holiday week. So for me, I'll look for trades here, but I'm probably just going to cut it out for myself, just my own personal account, because I don't want to risk it. I'm still up for this week, 6,300 on just one account. So this is one account. And if you want to add up all the other accounts, I mean, this would just be, so I divide this by 2. This would be 100K accounts times 5. I'm currently still up this much for the week, even with that loss that I took today. So, this is where the key thing comes into play. If you guys continue to trade, you might go into that cycle of revenge trading. And sometimes you just got to know when it's like not your day. Today's not my day because I got screwed on that earlier trade. That was my mistake though. I should have held off on that because news was coming up at 7 o'clock. So I accept that loss. Like that loss was my fault. Could have been avoided. But yeah, we'll keep looking for more entries here. If we see anything great, if not, then we're just going to keep looking. There was actually an entry right here. I don't know if anybody saw this. Yeah, Maddie, I don't know if you saw this right here because it kept pulling back. So the entry here actually played out. If you would have waited for it, because price pushed down right here, Actually, no, I take that back. It pulled back right here. So the entry is actually getting filled right now. Never mind. Okay, so looking at this right here. No, actually, okay. So the entry actually would have gotten filled at 10 right here, Maddie. But this would have just been too messy. It's already going sideways, so I wouldn't have taken it. But if you waited for it to get down to that 10, it actually would have went up and hit. But you know, like I mentioned, I don't like it either. So I wouldn't have taken the trade. The liquidity push is still running. This is crazy. Liquidity should have been hit by like immediately, right? It either should have hit your TP or should have hit your stop loss. But you can see this market is not really doing much because even the liquidity here hasn't even hit either side. The 100 pips hit. So if you guys follow my direction with like getting in and out and then running with your profit, you would have been fine right here because you would have gotten out already at 100 pips. Price clearly went past 100 pips. But if you held it for 300 pips, you can see this is what I was warning you guys about. I mentioned that the market here is very unpredictable during the summer. Price can be very volatile, and then all of a sudden it just dies down. And this is the worst position that you can be in. If you're still in this position, I would pull out and profit. That's my personal preference because the liquidity is not supposed to take this long, right? Liquidity is supposed to go straight to your TP or straight to your stop loss, right? That's the whole point of liquidity. This right here is a liquidity push, and it's been running for how many minutes now? For like 15 minutes. That's a crazy long liquidity. Liquidity should not be held for that long. It either hits liquidity or it doesn't, right? It seems to hit liquidity and then market just went flat. So this is another example of like understanding the market, like understanding the market conditions, understanding when to hold on to a position, understanding when to cut losses, understanding when to stop trading. For me, this market is just not, it's just not it. So if you guys took the trade here, great. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. But I highly recommend pulling out profit if you guys are in any positions. So I'm just going to give a little, fortunately, a loss on that. Momentum scalp. What was the thing? Momentum pullback scalp. On live first loss. Yeah, so I want to be transparent with you guys. Now, I do have losses too sometimes. And you just have to take them and continue moving on. But I'm not going to risk myself and take more losses here. I'm not going to take the risk of continuing to trade. And I'll analyze the charts for you guys, but I'm not going to trade my account. I'm going to eat that loss and then just let it be. Because I already know if I keep trading here, I'm going to revenge trade and I'll probably make it back by revenge trading. But that's not a good habit that I want to instill with you guys. I want you guys to understand that it's okay to take a loss and just move on. Versus like just staring at the chart and then forcing an entry to come in. Because I'm sure you guys have felt that before, where you guys take a loss and then you're just staring at the chart. You're like, oh, I could get back in like right here and just cover that loss. And then what happens is you guys just keep eating loss after loss after loss. And then it just ends up to a blown account. So I'm good with my profits for this week, but let's see what everybody else did. So it looks like some of you guys here did take the trade and pulled out early. So like Maria over here, she took the trade earlier, also the same buy, but she actually pulled out. Total profit of 369. So some of you guys who are smarter about it, and you guys pulled out in profit before news hit. Unfortunately, I got caught in the news, so I just ended up eating that loss. We have let's see what else we have here. We have Rick as well. So Rick said, I think I'm good for the day. Great analysis today. You taught me a lot about how to handle losses. So Rick over here is currently up 254 for the day. Nice work, Rick. So yeah, Rick over here had a loss too, it looks like. He had a couple of wins right here. He had one loss right here, and then he bounced back. And then he had one loss right here. And then he had another loss from revenge trading. It looks like, yeah, it looks like Rick here was kind of revenge trading a bit because he was up 50. Oh no, sorry. These aren't any losses. My bad. I thought this was cumulative, but this is he just had a bunch of wins here. So Rick had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. His cumulative profit for the day is about 1,000. Sorry, I thought these were your cumulative, but this is your cumulative. So Rick actually had a bunch of wins here. He didn't have any losses. So he's up about 1,000 for the day. Nice work, Rick. We have Eunice over here. He took the same trade. Looks like a lot of you guys here took the same trade, but you guys were smart about it and just pulled out. Eunice over here locked in 51.20. Actually, I'm looking at the timestamp here. Eunice took the liquidity push, it looks like. So solid profits right there. We got Maddie over here. Maddie also took the loss. It's fine, Maddie. Took half my loss there. And you just move with it. All right, we're looking for a buy signal here, guys. I'll keep looking for entries here, but if you guys feel like you're revenge trading or you're starting to get emotional about your trades, then just call it a day, right? Call it a week. Especially if you're up in profit for the week like I am. It's best to just take your profits and close out for the week versus risking any more profit, because you don't want to leave any profits on the table, especially going into a holiday weekend like this. But I will keep looking for entries. So I'm looking for a buy signal right here. There goes a buy signal right there. If it comes up, I'm going to look for the retracement and then possible entry for a buy. But right now, we don't have it yet. So scrolling down further, we have CERN over here. CERN is currently at 114 on his first account, 110 on his second account, and 95 on his third account over here. Nice work, CERN. So solid profits right there. Here's Vincent. Yeah, Vincent here unfortunately took the loss with me on that last momentum pullback scalp, but then he made a couple buys over here for some wins. So he took a win here, took a loss here with me, and then he took a win here. So he's only down 185. He's not down very much. He's like one trade away from being back in a profit. So nice work right there, Vincent. And thanks for being transparent with yourself, right? The thing with a lot of people is they don't want to post losses. And the thing is, if you don't post losses or you don't even recognize the loss, you're just going to sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened. Thing is, you have to understand that the loss happened and you just got to keep rolling with it. Yeah, exactly. Stern said that horrible market. It's a mess right now. I agree 100%. We got Andrew over here. He got the liquidity. He took the liquidity and he's back in profit on his challenge. So Andrew over here took the liquidity push, locked in 1,300, and he's now back in profit. Nice work, Andrew. So he took the liquidity push for 100 pips. He pretty much just followed what I mentioned earlier, and then he locked in his profit. Let's see, Karen's asking, you can read this after. So, hey, Sean, I need your assistance. I'm using social trader copier, but whichever I set to copy from FTMO to MFF, it won't execute. It says cannot match symbol. Yeah, you have to match the symbols, Karen. So you have to go to your copier, and then there's an option there. I'll go to my copier right now. Yeah, so you go to your settings. Whatever your settings are for whichever account that's copying. And then you go to map symbols. So there's a button that says map symbols under your copier settings, Karen. That's how you fix it. And then from there, you map US30 with US30, because US30 for FTMO is US30.cash, and then US30 for MFF is just US30. So whenever US30.cash takes a trade, US30 on MFF it'll take that trade too. Yeah, no problem, Karen. It's a common issue, so no problem with that. All right, we got news coming up right here at 7:30. Okay, in the future, guys, I'm gonna not be dumb and I'm not gonna take trades around news. That was a stupid trade earlier this morning. It was the worst part is that Daniel even warned me about it. He was like, hey, there's news coming up at 7, and I still took the trade anyways when I knew I should have held off on it. So in the future, I'm gonna try to prevent myself from making stupid mistakes like that, and I'm gonna hold off on taking any trades around news. The thing is, I was just getting FOMO from that previous trade. That's why. So that was just all bad on my part. All right, so we have another opportunity right here, guys. Hopefully we have an opportunity to price pushes up, but we'll see. The liquidity push is still running right now. Technically the 100 pip push ran over there. So, the 100 pips, it's fine. We'll keep following it here, but it is pushing back up. So you guys can see here, this isn't normal for a liquidity push. Liquidity push is either going to hit your TP right away, or it's going to hit your stop loss right away. Right now, this is probably the longest liquidity push that I've ever seen in my life. Literally, in the entire time that we've traded the liquidity push, I've never seen a liquidity push take more than more than a few minutes for it to either hit TP or stop loss. Usually it's just right away. But that's just, that's the type of market that, that we're in right now. Yeah, Daniel said LOL in your life, whole life. Yeah, because liquidity, it's meant to, the whole point of liquidity is to catch a stop loss hunt, right? So if you have stop losses sitting above there, you think people have their stop losses up there, it's supposed to push right through. And it did push right through, but not far enough. So if you measure it from this point right here, or where was it? So if we measure it from right here, it went from the entry price 200 pips and then just went sideways. So it looks like that level of liquidity was liquidity, but there just wasn't enough orders around that area waiting. The problem is that it was such a high liquidity that I don't think there were people trading around there, because the sentiment here didn't pick up until like today. Yesterday's sentiment was like at 50%, so it was pretty low. It just started picking up today, so there's not really much liquidity that's actually sitting above there. And you can see the market is not doing anything. It's just going sideways right here. See better on the clean chart. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty trash market, to be honest. All right, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel said going to cut it early today, heading to Tahoe. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Nice. Have fun, Daniel. Pretty sure it's gonna be super hot out there. It's gonna be super hot here too. The weather here is still kind of weird though. It's like super gloomy right now. But once it hits like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock noon, it starts to get super sunny. But I think everybody's having a heat wave this weekend. I think especially in Texas. I think there's like I saw somebody post something that's in our group. They mentioned that Texas is supposed to be hotter than, or some parts of Texas is going to be hotter than 99% of the world over this weekend during the heat wave. It's crazy. Kip said, I thought you never post losses. All right, let me check the other one over here. Nice. He said not in San Diego, but super nice. Yeah, I was down there yesterday, actually. Not San Diego, but I was in Oceanside, D. It was nice down there. It was like 70 degrees. So your weather out there is super nice. I'm in San Diego. I think you guys have the best weather all year round. All right, let's see. We have some more profits over here from Sisu. Let's see what this is at. All right, so here's some more profits from Sisuk over here. Sisuk took the trade actually earlier and he locked in a quick profit. So he locked in 2,500 on his first account. And then Sisuk's second account, total profit of 2,450, all wins there. And then Sisuk's third account, total profit of 3,200 for the day, all wins. So nice work right there, Sisuk. And I think Kip had some profits here as well. Yeah, Kip over here as well. Total profit of 2,499. So I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here are still profiting. I mean, I ate the loss today. I'll just take one for the team. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, there's nothing going on in the market. You can see here that price is just going back and forth. It's just cutting into this range. It breaks out of it. It doesn't even break out really. It just pushes out slightly. And then it just goes right back into the range. It's just trash market. But yeah, there's not really too much here to look at. We got Ross over here. Ross is currently at 3,745 for the day. Nice work, Ross. Took a couple of gold trades, it looks like last night. And then today he took this buy over here for a quick profit of 2,180. It looks like he took the took one trade here at 726. You know, when price pushed back up, bounced off that support resistance right there. So nice work, Ross. Currently up to 3,745. We got Casey over here. Casey said, ate the loss today with Sean, but decided to hold off because I know my biggest discipline issue is revenge trading. Live to trade another day. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Casey. So yeah, Casey here, he took the loss with me earlier and he could have made it back, but he's just holding off now. He's just holding off because he knows revenge trading is a problem. I think that's a problem for a lot of people, but a lot of people don't want to realize it. I feel like revenge trading and FOMO trading is probably the biggest problem for majority of people who trade that are not consistent. And that was one of my biggest problems too. That's why today I already know that I should probably not be trading because revenge trading is it's just a killer of accounts. It's not worth it. Because when you guys start to revenge trade, you can go from like maybe like a 1% loss or a 2% loss, and then you can just keep stacking on the losses, and then it'll end up being like a 5% loss all the way up until like a 10% loss to the point where you blow your account. So yeah, you want to be careful, guys, especially if you know that revenge trading is your weakness. Yeah, and you said, yeah, that's how I lost my past two challenges after session revenge trading. Yeah, that's how it is for a lot of people. It's really just revenge trading. So you can see, like for me personally, I already closed out my MT4, so I can't even revenge trade if I wanted to. I'm pretty much done for the day for the most part. Well, I didn't close out my MT4 because I still want to look at the chart, but I closed out my account. So I'm like logged out and I'm just following um to see if like movement is different. Yeah, exactly. Andrew said he's trying to keep himself level-headed. Yeah, the thing with like trading is that you guys have to understand that losses do happen and that you'll make it back. And you don't have to make it back that same day or that same moment. I feel like a lot of people, when they have a loss, they feel like they have to make it back like right away. For me, I can wait and just chill until like the next better opportunity comes up, but there's nothing to look for. Gotcha. Okay. Maria said she's closed for the day. Have a nice weekend. Just one answer. Monday will be live session. Yes, that is correct, Maria. So on Monday, we will be having our live session. Tuesday is going to be 4th of July. It's Independence Day here in the US. So we will not have a trading session on Tuesday. We will have one on Monday, but not on Tuesday. And no mentoring session on Monday either, guys. Just want to give you guys a heads up. Yeah, Martha said for her week, she's currently at 992 and she's now calling it a day. Yeah, have a great weekend, Martha. We'll see you back here on Monday. So here's Martha's profits for the week so far. Yeah, so you had a pretty good week so far, Martha. You had like about a couple losses here. It looks like you cut your losses early on this trade. This one's a full loss. This is a partial loss. This is a partial loss or a full loss too. So Martha here had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. She had 13 wins. And she had 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. So that's not bad. You had 13 wins plus 4 losses. So that is 17 trades. 17 divided by 13. Or sorry, 13 divided by 17. You have about a 76.5% win rate for this week so far. So you had a pretty good win rate for the week. A lot of your profits here are pretty much over, you made it back even if you had a loss. So you had a pretty good win rate right there, Martha. So that's something to look forward to, right? Even if you had a couple losses, I mean, today you had all wins, but for the most part, if you ever have losses, just keep in mind that like have the end of the week goal in your vision. Because the thing is, if you're getting too stuck on like certain losses, then you're just never going to grow from there. So nice work, Martha. Good profits, good win rate for the week. And yeah, you deserve to call it a week, because I would just take that and run. Honestly, this market's not really good. You guys can see here, market is now pulling back down. So price pretty much ranged from here, broke above range, went back to opening price. So you can see exactly where it's rejecting off. It's like literally rejecting off opening price right there. So we got a bit of a messy market right here. We can't really take the scalp entries because there's no direction. The whole gist of the strategy is to trade in the direction of momentum and trend. Right here, you can see that price is just super choppy. This whole area here is choppy. Price pushed up. This whole area is choppy. I mean, it's just a mess. There's just nothing for us to take a look at here specifically as price continues to just go back and forth. Oh man, breaking news. So Stern over here just said that the Supreme Court threw out Biden's loan forgiveness plan. That's crazy. Didn't you have like, I think it was Natasha, right? Didn't you have like your whole thing like if this was to pass, you're supposed to get your whole basically your whole loan forgiven. That's crazy. Supreme Court Friday struck down President Joe Biden's loan forgiveness plan, denying tens of millions of Americans a chance to get up to 20%, 20,000. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. We'll see what ends up being the case here. I'm pretty sure they're going to appeal it. It's just going to be the whole case. I think this is all part of it. It's all part of the big scheme of things. Because if they so what happens here is if they appeal it, I don't know if they can appeal it, but if they do appeal it, then it's just going to prolong people having to pay back their student loans. So instead of it being passed, they're just going to say, okay, we're going to appeal it, and then they're going to go another year without people having to pay off their loans, which is I'm fine with because I have a ton of student loans. So I've been holding off on paying my student loans until I have to. And I think that's the thing. It's just, if you guys think about politics, it's all about like, it's all a game. Like, it's not really, I feel like politics is not really real. It's all like people making like behind the door agreements, and they're just going to keep pushing things along. Because right now, Biden's going to be running for re-election. So I think this is all a power move. Biden is just keep pushing for this. And then when the election comes around, you're going to finally make a decision. So like if this gets passed, like, okay, Biden's going to get reelected. Or if this fails, okay, Biden's not going to get reelected. It's all like, I feel like everything is kind of tied into play. So, I mean, this right here, I don't think this really means much. They're going to strike it down, and then they're going to come up with a new plan, or they're going to come up with, they're just going to it's going to be in limbo for like the next year. I think until the presidential election comes up, which is next year. So yeah, I mean, politics is politics. It's like nothing really happens in politics. If you guys ever think about that, nothing really happens in politics. It's just always like a bunch of BS getting passed around over and over and over again. There's never really much improvement. There's not really much progress. Nothing's progressive. It's just something falls, something gets lifted back up, and then it's just a back and forth process over and over. Yeah, Tyler said if it doesn't pass, he will blame it on the other side and use it to get reelected. If it does, he will use it to get, yeah, exactly. Tyler's spot on with it right here. So Tyler said, if it doesn't pass, he'll blame it on the other side. So he'll say, oh yeah, the Republicans are not letting us pass this, and they're not for the people. And like, okay, Biden wins. And then if they he'll just use it to get reelected. That's really what it is. It's a power move. So we'll see. Yeah, Patrick said my old poli-sci professor used to say politics is just a pendulum that swings side to side. It really is. That's literally what it is. There is it doesn't, like, nothing really happens. It's crazy. I was a poli-sci major in undergrad, Patrick, and I'm an attorney, so I know exactly what you mean by that. It's just a back and forth game. It's kind of like if you guys have, hopefully none of you guys have like been in jail before or had to deal with the criminal court before. Criminal court, like a lot of stuff doesn't really happen there. It's all like, it's a handshake deal. Like I have friends that are public defenders, I have friends that are district attorneys. That stuff is just back and forth. It's a handshake deal. It's like, okay, what can you give me? What can I give you? Give this guy like 10 years, handshake, done. And sometimes they use people and they use them as pawns to make an example out of them. So it's like, I mean, the whole legal system is kind of rigged, to be honest. It just depends on who you know. Anyways, guys, I know we went off topic right there, but there's no entries for us to take. So don't worry, there's nothing that you guys are missing. There's no 1 hour entry here, it doesn't look like, because it's 7:45 right now. We got to wait for a buy signal to come up. Buy signal hasn't come up since 7. There's no scalps here. I mean, technically there's self scalps that you could have taken right here, but not one that I would personally take myself. As you can see over here, price kind of came down. if you were looking for a sell here, there actually would have been an entry here, but not one that I would personally take myself. So price pushed up right here at, actually there'd be no entry here because price pushed up at like 61, your entry would be at 70. Price never came up to that point. So there was no entry there. Price came back down again right here. The entry would actually be right here at 60, it looks like. But it's not at that point yet. I don't think there'd be a V1 right now, Andrew, or maybe there would. It depends on the overall bias, because I think yeah, technically, no. So the short-term bias over here is not very strong for buy anymore. So I mean, yeah, technically, if you really wanted to look for an entry there, I mean, you could technically look for a buy. You look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are still up. Sentiment is still bullish. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, technically there you could take a V1 there, or was a V1 out? Let me see. So I don't see any V1s right here, Andrew. It would have to be a buy, but there's no double body here because the lower low is right here. So I don't see a double body here for this right here shouldn't look like this. So see how these red candles are right next to each other? You'd have to have something like this right here. Like it'd have to be a green and red candle, and then the low would have to be on that point right there. But yeah, no, technically, if you're looking for a V1 is still valid right now because the overall bias is still bullish. But I just don't see any V1s here. I think you might have looked at this one, or maybe this one right here. You might have thought that this was a low, but there was no there's no high low right there. Yeah, but your bias is bullish, so we'd be looking for a V1 from the bottom. So you look for a double body or double wick, and then take it from there. This right here is, you have to kind of tell, like this right here is hard to tell. I wouldn't go off this candle right here. And this one right here just doesn't meet criteria. Let's see. See if there's anything else here that I'm missing. See Patrick over here. Patrick said starting to get FOMO from this session. I'm shutting MC4 down. Yeah, probably best decision right there, Patrick. So Patrick here for this morning locked in a total profit of 1,968, basically 2,000 for the day, all wins. He's starting to feel FOMO, so he's just going to call it a day and wrapping it up. So nice work right there, Patrick. We have Natasha over here. She took a buy, total profit of 905 for the day, all wins. Nice work right there, Natasha. We got Kevin over here. So Kevin took his first loss in like the whole year. No, I'm just kidding. So Kevin over here, it's locked in a total profit of 28,543. A lot of nice wins right here. He switched down to the bottom. You know, as I mentioned, you can start looking for sells, but I like trading the direction of bias, but he did have one loss there. So as you guys can see, Kevin does lose trades sometimes, not very often, but he does lose trades too. So he's currently up quite a bit. So nice work right there, Kevin. Got Barty over here. Barty said, hope everyone had a profitable week. God bless everyone. Let's go. Barty over here as well, locked in a total profit of 421 for the day. Nice work, Barty. Yeah, so great profit right there. And we got Wesley over here. Wesley, total profit of 3,220 for the day, or for the week actually. So nice work right there, Wesley. Yeah, great profits, guys. All wins on Wesley's side right there. So total profit 3,220. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. All right, so we got a question from Hussein over here. Hussein is asking, hi Sean, your breakout strategy is only applicable the first 5 minutes into the session. Yes, that is correct. Also wanted to ask if the same 500 pip TP stop loss will work, or does it need to be changed according to current market? It needs to be changed according to current market, Hussein. We're in the summer right now, market's slower, so it would have to be adjusted. That's the main reason why we don't apply breakout as much because the market's different right now. You have to like kind of test it to see what the movement's like. I mean, the movement on open is it's not consistent. So like it's probably going to be like maybe 300, 250, 250. I mean, it can be even as low as like 150, 150, depends on how the market moves. I mean, if you measure, and the way that you can do that is you can just measure how price moves the first 5 minutes, basically, or first 10 minutes every session, right? So like, for example, today, this is the range right here. Range was about 700 pips. Yeah, so the entry would have been right here for this green candle. Actually, you wouldn't even have an entry here. There's no entry here today because there was no confirmation. This price got to it, but you can see the range here is about 76, 760. The breakout still works. A lot of people in the group still apply the breakout, but they adjust the TP stop loss to fit criteria for the market conditions. So that's something you would have to do, Hussein. That's not something I would help with. You'd have to go and just test it. And Lacey, you said there was one yesterday, right? Because it just takes a lot of work to test. That's why I stopped doing it. The problem with the strategy too is that a lot of people don't follow it properly. So like, for example, yesterday, yeah, like you said, so 6:30 over here, market opened right there. So we had no strong red candle, so there's no entry for a sell there. There was a buy signal right here. There's a buy signal, and then it was actually a strong green candle. So it happened like right on the last candle right there, 6:34, and that would have been a full TP. So, you know, like I mentioned before, like it just depends on the range. Like if you're going for a 500 pip move, your range wants to be you want your range to be at least 1,000 pips. So like, for example, right here, market open at 6:30 up until 6:35. The range here is even smaller. It's 640 pips. So you probably want to go for like a lot less. Yeah, because the breakouts aren't always going to be the same throughout every market season. Right now it's a slow season. Usually we have like about 1,000 pip move on open. Right now it's like 600, if not less. But all right, let me see if there's anything else here for me to look at. Getting close to 8 o'clock, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll answer whatever questions you guys have. So as I mentioned, guys, unfortunately today I'm going to eat that loss, and then I'm just going to close out for the. Well, I'm already closed out for the week, but I'm not going to take any more trades myself. See if there's anything else over here. So Natasha said, don't yell at me, a revenge trade after 2 huge losses. Yeah, so unfortunately, Natasha over here ate some losses and then she just revenge traded right down here. Good thing she made back a lot of it, but yeah, I mean, it happens. So like same thing here with Natasha, right? Her problem is really revenge trading and FOMOing into trades. And that's a common issue. So you can see right here is a common issue where she revenge traded a bunch right after, but luckily she hit the trades, but this could have ended badly. If she had 2 losses and then she kept losing like 2 more, she could have gone close to blowing her account. So it happens, I know, but nice work on the recovery right there, Natasha. So solid work right there. Let's see, Kenny over here sent me something. I'll check this in a little bit. Kenny sent me an Instagram reel. It's probably something funny. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Oh, see, the guy now. I just saw that that message. All right, so all right, guys, there's nothing for us to take here right now specifically. As you guys can see, price is pushing back up. However, there's no direction of a bullish trend right now because price is in between the pivots. Trend meter is red. The pivots are going sideways. In order for you to have a bullish direction, you need price to actually be moving to the upside. You need a green trend meter. You need price to be above the pivots, and you need the pivots to be angling to the upside. Since we don't have that right now, there's not really much of an opportunity for us to take any more scalps. You know, just looking back at the market, there wasn't really any, like, too many scalps this morning. So let's see, we have a buy signal right here. Price pulled back to this point right here. And then there was a sell signal right there. Market moves kind of crazy on this point. So just going between like 7 until 8. So we had a sell signal right here. There's no trend. We had a buy signal right here. Price pushed up. It retraced right here to where was it at? It retraced right here to 17. Entry would have happened right here at 10. And this right here actually would have been a win. I missed this trade right here, unfortunately, but this right here would have been a win for that scalp entry. I didn't take it, so it's not going to count. I'm only counting my loss. And then we had another opportunity here that came up, I think. Or actually, no, there wasn't. I can't remember where the entry was, but my loss happened like a little earlier. So anyways, I took a loss. There was a win right there. It wasn't this trade though. Let me check the timestamp for my trade. 6:57. Yeah, because there was news right here at 7. This was my bet. This right here, there was another opportunity that came up. Price pushed up, pulled back right here at like, I think 80. And that's where I made my entry. Some people pulled out early, made some profit, but I just held on to it. It ended up eating the loss based off the news. I got caught in the news right here. Price shot right back up. Would have hit my TP, but it happens. And I ended up with my loss there. So looking at the trade today, there's typically about like maybe 3 or 5 trades that came up that would typically come up today. There was about 2 trades that came up. Not a good market to be scalping in because the market is going back and forth and not very much directional. So one last question here from Hussein. He's asking, hi, Sean, just one final question. Can you suggest how I should back test to get, so you just do what I just said, right? You just, I thought I explained myself for that earlier. You would just go back and you'd measure the range from that time period because you're going to enter a trade between like 6:30 and 7, right? So you want to understand how market is moving around that time period. So there's a couple ways to do it. You would measure the distance, or you would just back test the strategy. So just go back to the market every single day for as far as you can go back and test your TP stop loss, right? Go and do testing for 500, 500. You can do testing for 400, 400. You can do testing for 300. You can do testing for 200, 250, etc. You just go back and back test it and you see what works. If the 500 is hitting, then use the 500. If the 400 is hitting, use the 400. And that's how you would figure out, you just use logic. That's really what it'd be. Just be using logic to figure out where your range is at. Because the market right now the problem with the market right now in the summer is that it's very unpredictable. Some days, like for example, today, market will be very volatile. Yesterday, market was volatile, but it was moving smoothly. The day before that, I can't say, but the market's going to be different. So you want to create a spreadsheet, like you'll create a spreadsheet, something like this, and then you'll have the date, the time of entry, the buy or sell, the trend. You probably have to market the trend because for that specific strategy, you want to confirm the trend and stuff, the win-loss ratio and the profit ratio. So there's just a lot of different factors that you can factor in. You basically just put a column for each requirement and then make sure that everything lines up. And then you can determine if you want to use bias, if you want to use trend, if you want to just go straight off momentum. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but you just have to think logically, because the thing is, I can tell you what to do, but then you're going to come back tomorrow and ask me another question, right? It's better for you to just kind of play around with it and figure out, because you already know what the strategy is like you have the criteria and the requirements. It's your job to really figure out what do you want to add to it. Do you want to add something to it, or do you want to just leave it as is? Because you can trade directly off momentum, but you can also add trend, and you can also add bias, and you can also add structure, and you can add red flags. There's so many things you can add to it. So, if you want to go and back test it, you can start off with the original strategy as is, because there's different variations to the breakout. You can use trend, there's a lot of different things you can add to it. So what I'd recommend, if you want to go back and back test it by itself, how it normally is applied. And then if that doesn't have a good win rate that you're happy with, then add on the trend. If that doesn't have a good win rate, then add on another conflict bias. If that doesn't work, add red flags, because all those things add in. The thing that you need to also keep in mind is that red flags apply to that strategy. So, play around with it. If there's any other questions regarding that, let me know, but you need to go and kind of test it and then figure out what works for you. Because I feel like right now you're kind of testing a lot of strategies, but last time we talked, I told you to focus on just 2 strategies, but you're applying seems like maybe 3, 4 strategies right now, and it might confuse you a bit. So go back and test that Hussein, and then let me know if there's anything that you need help with. But a lot of the stuff is just gonna be trial and error for you specifically. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. It's about 8:01 right now. It's past 8 o'clock. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to send your questions out to me. Otherwise, I think that's gonna be it for today. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys back here on Monday for market open.